Okay, so in today's video, as you can see from the title, I almost blew my entire account on the live stage. I've been emotional trading. I've been making my rules more complicated than they need to be, which I already know my rules. It's just the fact of one, emotionally trading can really screw up what you know. Also, with that being said, I'm adding my uptrend analysis with my uptrend strategy and combining it with my downtrend strategy, which is causing me to confuse myself. If I have a 1 hour bias, why am I going against it in the 5 minute? Long story short, I got cooked. For this week, just Monday and Tuesday alone, Tuesday I had lost $2,000. Monday I had lost $2,000. Tuesday just alone, I lost $4,600. This is the biggest loss I've ever taken on my entire account. I mean, the biggest. And it's shocking. I'm gonna go through like Monday and Tuesday. I'm gonna show you guys my analysis and where my head was at. And realistically, I will say Monday, fair play. I feel like I did actually play my strategy, but I allowed myself to get confused. Tuesday, straight emotional, all because it was just nothing but consolidation. Nothing I did was adding up. So I'm just going to show you guys this right now. I'm just going to start with Monday so I can go ahead and get these lines out of here. On Monday, previous market analysis. As you can see, the moment London session hit, we swept this high. We created a breaker structure to the downside, and that's clear downtrend for me. No further explanation. I don't need to sit here and see 5 million things happen. I need to understand. All right, we're in the downtrend. Also, with that being said, this is the low previous to New York session, and this is the high. We draw down to the 5 minute. Obviously, like I said from the get go, we're looking for sales. So we jump into this. I wait for price to kind of show me some type of rejection. We obviously, market open. And this is the part that kind of got me. When you look at it like this looks like a clear buying stage. Clear, clean as day. But when I go from pre-market analysis, we had a downtrend. You come into the 5 minute, and obviously, I'll show you this also on the 1 hour. And this is the part that I ignored that cost me this day to make, to lose obviously $2,000. As you can see, yes, we had the sweep. Yes, we had the break. But what happened right here? Price had a low right here. Right at 9:30, we created a sweep in the hourly. That's game over. Not much things you can do whenever there's a sweep. So as you can see, the bias obviously changes. We catch the sweep on the 1 hour. We catch the breaker structure. And this is 5 minute analysis. We catch the sweep. We catch the breaker structure. And then obviously we catch a retest. With me being hard-headed, I think the main thing that caught me was whenever I have my analysis and we already create a sweep on the 5 minute, I drop to the 1 minute, ignoring that I need a consistent 5 minute sweep. Like I need a sweep like this. I can't have like a breakup sweep is what I'm trying to get at. Long story short, let's jump into the 1 minute. Because I don't want to stay too long, focused on this. But I'm going to go over my strategy at the end of this video and just show you guys what screwed me over. As you can see, we have the sweep, we have the breaker structure, and I can't remember if there was like a fair value gap. Oh, right here. This is what got me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. We had a valid retest off of this inverse fair value gap. I entered, kept my stop loss above these highs. Price, I was in profit almost $1,000. I think I was targeting literally to make like $3,000 off this trade. In profit, consolidating, and then ended up taking me out. I ended up losing on that first trade, $460. I was like, no biggie, no biggie. I'll just come back in, you know, let's go again. I'm not gonna go into the, basically, I'll just go into 5 minute. All right. After we get done with this consolidating phase, we ended up creating a sweep off the 1 hourly high that was created previous to New York session. I ended up drawing back down to the 1 minute. Now this one was a late entry, but I still caught it anyway. Liquidity sweep, we got your breaker structure. There was no inverse fair value gap retests all over here. I waited for there to be a fair value gap retest. Yes, price literally went all the way up, went all the way back down. And obviously I'm emotionally trading at this point because the moment that we caught a retest, well, we've also already swept 1 minute highs, and we already are in a 1 hour trend to the upside. So the thing is, I was getting too caught up on the fact of, dude, today's supposed to be a selling day. Well, no, it's not supposed to be anything. What market shows you is what it's supposed to be. If market shows you something after what previous session showed you, you need to listen to what's happening currently, not what's happening in the past. What's in the past is what's in the past. If we show, reversals in the current freaking, session, that's the only thing we need to focus on. And that's what's been cooking me, not focusing on what's present, more or less. Obviously, trying to go against a trend. I get in on the first fair value gap retest, and as you can see, it wasn't necessarily a valid trade. Could have been a valid retest, but got cooked for $960. Next trade, we move on. I end up waiting for this high to get swept. I wait for there to be an inverse fair value gap. I did everything in my power to sit here and just force this into my direction. And if I was patient enough, I could have caught this trade. I'm not even going to go into detail. I literally traded wrong. I did. I traded emotionally. I have no excuses for this. So 460 first trade, 960 second trade, and then 520 the third trade. This is how I ended the day with a $2,000 loss. And I have no excuses. I made errors. At the end of the day, you can't force a trade. And also, when you're trading emotionally, and also when you are distracted, you should not be trading. 100%. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the times that I catch losses on my trading days is because I'm distracted. And some of it I can't sit here and, blame other people, more or less. I have to understand that if I do not sit here and remove myself from the distractions, it's never gonna leave me. So just self-improvement. That's all it is. Let's just go to on Tuesday. Now this was horrible, you guys. I mean, I got freaking killed, and I'll tell you my mindset behind this. As you can see, it's kind of similar to the same thing that happened on Monday, except for we didn't get a liquidity sweep on the 1 hour. This is the low previous to 930. This is the high previous to 930. This is also previous session high. So I was like, you know what? Every time I see something like this, we're always going up. So my bias is just going to be a buy. I didn't even allow there to be a liquidity sweep. This is where I screwed myself over because this is now emotionally trading. We go down to the 1 hour, the 5 minute. As you can see, previous to market session, we catch a sweep over here. We didn't catch a sweep. Previous to market open, we caught a sweep over here, and then I said, you know what? We caught a break of structure at the 930. There's an inverse fair value gap. Sometimes this works, sometimes this doesn't. But you shouldn't be trading a sometimes. You should be trading a definite. As you can see, this inverse fair value gap got retested twice. That should have been my first confirmation. We draw down to the 1 minute. And for this first trade right here, this looks horrible, you guys. I'm embarrassed. I truly am. First trade, I jump in off of this retest thinking that, oh, snap, price is just, it's retesting this and it's going to push higher. First trade I got in, I lost $980. Why was I risking that much? Horton here's a who. Why? The second trade, this is what really got me destroyed for this day. I only took 3 trades. No, actually, I took 4 trades. So 980 on the first trade. The second trade, who told me to take this? I jumped in because I was like, shoot, dude, I already lost, but I was distracted. The whole point of what I'm getting at is to you guys is look how many times I've allowed myself to be in situations that I shouldn't have been in, all because I was in a distracted situation or I was just emotionally trading. Learn from my mistakes. Here we go again. This trade right here, I lost $1,500. Who told me to over leverage? Who? God. 980, 1,580. Oh my God. We were down 2,500 for the day. Off the rip. Market was only open freaking 17 minutes and I was already down 2,500 on the day. Who was crying? You already know. This right here is what really got me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I started getting mad at this point because I was like, dude, no matter what I'm doing, price is just consolidating. You can't change what market's doing. And it's obvious because we got like tariffs and all this other stuff going on. So yeah, the market's not wanting to necessarily go in the direction we want it to go in. Because one, What is previous session doing? Previous session is literally pushing the market up and down. What is New York session doing? Consolidating. Q know when to trade. I'm speaking to all of us in this moment, but more importantly, me. With this being said, we catch a sweep, we catch a breaker structure, and we catch a inverse. Let me get rid of this so you guys can see this clear as day. Sweep, breaker structure, inverse fair value gap, freaking retest. I literally went from a 5 minute. Oh my God. Look at this, you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm forcing a trade, but this one I felt comfortable. I really did. Waited for price to push out of the zone, entered. The moment I entered, I was negative, bro. You know how much I lost on this trade? 1,200. I was freaking mad, bro. 3,700 negative on the day, bro. 3,700. I was like, dude, go up or down, but at least let me catch a W. Dude, I was mad, bro. I was like, bro, my rules on my prop firm is if I lose 5,000 in one day, I lose the challenge. No matter if I'm in the live stage. I have a $10,000, as in my account can't go negative $10,000, but I can lose $10,000. What I'm saying to you guys is there's only one rule that's really, really serious, and it's the fact that I can only have a daily loss of 5,000. This trade right here, I said, finally, price is in this situation where we're not consolidating anymore. We catch a sweep, we catch a breaker structure. There was an inverse somewhere. There was. I'm not even gonna hold you. But the thing is, I'm forcing it and I'm just imagining everything. We get in, I lose this trade off the rip. Off the rip. Off the freaking rip. I lost it. $860. When you look at this, it looks like I don't know exactly what I'm doing. But I don't mind. I don't mind you guys thinking that. I don't mind it at all because what am I doing trading if I'm not in the right headspace? What am I doing coming to the markets thinking that just because I get on here, I have to make money? What am I doing forcing things whenever it's not properly being set up right in front of me? And when it is, why am I going against it? Sometimes you're going to have your off weeks and it's not your strategy. It's your mindset. It's your it's your it's your mindset coming into it believing that things have to go your way. And I've been telling you guys, I got a lot of stress going on. That ain't no excuse for why I should just make, you know, ignorant decisions. Long story short. So yeah, I lost $4,600 in one day. Lost $2,000 previous to that day. I am negative freaking $7,000 this week. How do you lose $7,000 in a week? And the week's only been 2 days. It's frustrating, but I'm past it. You make mistakes. You do things that you know you're not supposed to. I obviously should know when I should trade and when I should not. But there's something important I want to show you guys. And this is what's key. Like, yes, it's frustrating that we make mistakes, but at the end of the day, so be it. Where the frick is this thing? There we go. There's this one. And this is what I was wanting to explain to you guys is understand what your strategy consists of. And this is why I'm breaking this down to you guys. Uptrend strategy. I'm going through this like quick. 1 hour, we're looking for liquidity sweeps or session sweeps. This is with a uptrend. Now, pay attention. 5 minute, I'm looking for liquidity sweeps or rejections. And I said, test this if I'm going to just go for rejections, but I still need liquidity sweeps. 1 minute, I need to see my full strategy, which is a liquidity sweep, breaker structure, and a fair value gap or inverse fair value gap, and a valid retest. That's key. TP, any time frame, because it's with the trend. SL, previous low, or inverse fair value gap, or fair value gap. That's powerful. Against the trend in a uptrend. 1 hour liquidity sweep or a session sweep. We need a 5 minute liquidity sweep. We need a 1 minute full strat and a valid retest. We need a TP of a 5 minute or a 1 minute. Do you see what I did different in this? With the trend, you could play around a little bit. Against the trend, stop playing around. You're only going for a 5 minute or a 1 minute TP when you're going against it. You can do anything you want to when you're with the trend and you see your strategy. Previous high or low, previous high or fair value gap or inverse fair value gap, as you can see right here too. I said with the trend, we're aiming for lows as our SL. Against the trend, we're going for previous highs. So I'm very detailed to the T, and this is serious. So let's go to the downtrend. Downtrend, hour liquidity sweep, session sweep, 5-minute liquidity sweep or rejection. Test this. 1 minute full strut and a valid retest. TP any time frame because we're with the trend and the downtrend. SL previous high or fair value gap or inverse fair value gap. So it's the same thing as what's over here, but translated in for the specific strategy. Now, am I saying that my strategy changes? No, but with the trend, yes, it does. Now, with that being said, sometimes I need something right in front of me, and that's why I did this. And the thing is, I made it and I ignored it. That's my fault. Nobody's fault for the mistakes that I make. And at the end of the day, who's going to pay the price? Me. Do I still have my account? Yes. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The moment I get a payout, then I'll show you guys my account. I just don't know if I'm going to expose something that I'm not supposed to with showing you guys this account. And then my account gets taken. And then somebody else plays on my account. So that's why I'm being very, 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 very cautious. So until then, you guys just got to have faith that I'm being honest. Realistically, I've came this far. I don't think I should be lying, especially being a Christ follower. But I will tell you this. One thing that the Lord has been doing in me, He has been exposing my weaknesses, just with my personal life. And sometimes it's frustrating. He's testing me right now. Is He tempting me? No, never. The Lord never tempts. The Lord tests. When I say that He's proud of me, I would say that He's proud of me, but I'm not proud of me. More or less, Jesus is King, man. The Father is amazing. And Holy Spirit, if we didn't have the Trinity, what we have, more or less. But I'm gonna wrap this up, you guys. I'm gonna do better. I will improve. Let's see how tomorrow goes. Am I gonna stick to my strategy? We'll see. But I will say that's something that I'm gonna be doing tonight is actually going back, going over the market, and understanding truly why I keep making the same mistake. And that's something that you guys should do for yourself. It's the same thing with your relationship with God. Why do you know the truth, but you keep making the mistake? There's a deeper root, and it's obviously it has to do with your emotions, but it's something that is a trigger to make you do things that you know you shouldn't do. Drop. That's a mic drop right there. But I love you guys. I pray everyone watching this is just okay. I pray that your mental gets restored. I pray that your spirit gets renewed. I pray that you can see with the right lens, that you have ears to hear, and that you have eyes to see. God's word is powerful, so never lose sight of it. If you can't see, then allow yourself to hear. But that's it for me, guys. I'm out of here. Let's do better, all of us. But more importantly, me. And through Jesus Christ, that will happen. Amen.